Welcome to the Ultimate Mixtape, an Andrew McMahon fan podcast covering his projects from something corporate to wilderness and everything in between. Join your hosts, Jess and Jimmy, as they talk about the Andrew McMahon fandom, upcoming shows, news, and discuss the music with you, the fans.
What's up, everybody? I'm Jess Manzilla, and with me, as always, I have my partner in crime and life, Jimmy McFadden.
Hey, everyone.
Welcome back to a special bonus episode of the Ultimate Mixtape. We decided we were going to give you some extra coverage of the Something Corporate shows that happened for New Year's Eve in Anaheim.
Yes, I'm glad you actually said to do this. I wasn't thinking we were going to do one so early, but there was two really fun nights. So I'm glad we're going to do a little recap because we know there was quite a few people that could not make it to California, obviously, for New Year's. The holidays happening, everything's happening. So this will be just a real recap of those two shows. I thought it was like a really nice warm up for the cruise that's coming up in November. So I thought it was a great way to end the year and excited about the cruise.
Yeah, I mean, in case you missed it, Something Corporate played two shows at the Grove in Anaheim, which, according to them, holds special memories for them as a local band, including Andrew's prom, I think he said was held there.
He did. I wish I could have seen pictures of that.
Yeah, that would have been epic to see. But for us, it was pretty exciting because at that time we had already decided we weren't going to any more shows. And then it just so happened that everything fell over a weekend. So we're like, we might as well try to get some tickets to this. And if we get them, we get them. If we don't, we don't.
Exactly.
So we got to talk about that whole experience because they did something a little bit different with the ticket situation on this time. And as much as Andrew's trying to make everything right for all his fans and make sure that things are accessible to people. Some things were wins on this and some things were a little bit frustrating. So I think it's safe to say that if you really want a chance at any tickets that are going to be coming your way for Andrew and any of his like high demand shows, you really should just join Camp Wilderness at this point because that's the only way you're going to get access to the pre-sale information and get those codes. I know a lot of people in Camp Wilderness, they don't like to share their information. So everybody keeps that stuff close to their hearts because they want to make sure that it's the real fans that are getting that information and able to make it to those shows. We did see a lot of that too when it came to the cruise. The whole thing sold out before regular tickets even went on sale. So definitely make sure if you're wanting to get into those shows, you're joining Camp Wilderness and making sure that you're following everything that's happening there because that's where they're posting all that information. And nobody wants to be disappointed when they feel like that they can't get the tickets that they want or didn't even get a chance to get them. So you're going to see like the highly devoted people get that information and make sure that they're at all the shows. And we did see something similar with these SOCO tickets too. So there was the pre-sale for them and Andrew put together some safeguards for this one. Jimmy, do you want to explain a little bit about how those tickets were sold?
Yeah, I thought the safeguards were smart. Like it was kind of a long wait though, because it was like I thought didn't we put like the money in for like a week in advance or 10 days in advance? And then you found out by email if you got them or not. I thought that wait
it was
was
a lottery situation.
yeah, that wait was very long, but they were easier to get than Vegas, which I was surprised. I was very surprised that we had two extra for the 12:31 show. It seemed like out of those two shows, 12:30 was higher demand and then 12:31 wasn't. Maybe people already had plans for New Year's or they just didn't want to be out for New Year's Eve, which understand that as well. But we had you got both sets for both days, and then I got one set for 12:31. So the selling part I'll get to in a minute. That was kind of annoying, but we couldn't list them like on StubHub or anything. and when you sold them, you were selling them for what you paid for them, which was perfectly fine because I would like to have a fan go that isn't getting overcharged or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure I would sell them. But you just put them up back on Ticketmaster. You had no idea like where you sat in line. It was almost like first come, first serve. Thankfully, I put the
Mhm.
tickets up like a month before the show. Um, so our tickets actually sold for the 12/31 date. They sold on the day before on 12/30. But I think the venue really screwed a lot of people because they opened up tickets the week of before.
Yeah, I
Like
know
X,
that really upset a lot of people was seeing that a bunch more tickets got released when it's supposed to be a sold out show.
right.
So that kind of like got people interested in it again, but also they were buying those release tickets instead of buying the tickets that were up for sale or resale from the fans.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think I just said this, but you didn't really know where you sat in line. So I was like, are my tickets going to sell at all? Like, I think Amanda's 12/31 tickets never sold.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was just, I understand what he was doing. And I'm glad he got like the real fans the tickets at the start with the lottery, but to resell them, I think that needs to be done differently if they're going to do this again.
Yeah, I
Um,
think there was something strange in the way that, like, you personally could not sell your tickets.
mhm,
So, like, if we had a friend that needed extra, they would have to literally walk in with us. We couldn't
right.
really transfer those tickets to them in that same way. So that
Yeah.
was a little bit frustrating.
Yeah, yeah. But thankfully, like I said, our tickets sold on 12/30 to somebody who knows who they sold to, but thanks for buying them.
Yeah.
But that part was like okay. Like I was thinking they would sell. I was hoping the demand would come back like a day or two before the show, and that's what happened. But getting into California, I thought was more stressful than the actual buying of the tickets. There's obviously a lot of airports to choose from. We're coming from Florida, so I think we could pick like 5 or 6 airports, but they were all expensive because of the time of year. We ended up having to, where did we go? I think it was Orlando to San Antonio to LAX. And then in San Antonio, we actually had to run, literally run, from plane to plane to get on it, which was not what I really wanted to do that evening. Um,
I
but when we
think,
found,
didn't
go ahead.
everyone that we were with, everybody like came in from a different airport because it was just like so hard to find cheap tickets.
Yeah, I think Kelly was Long Beach.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's absurd. And a lot of people went into John Wayne in Anaheim, or Santa Ana, which is what I was trying for, but the ticket price was outrageous.
Mhm.
But LAX is, I think it's the worst airport out of them all. And of course, that's the one we went to. Just due to the rental car. I think it took us 50 to 60 minutes from when we got in the budget rental car bus to getting to the rental car facility. Um, I thought that was hell. We had already flown like for 6 hours. So the last thing I wanted to do was do that. But I think the topper of the night was when we went to the hotel. And this is just a PSA for anybody who books an Aries, Ayres hotel in the Anaheim area. Please know there's 9 of them in a 15-mile radius. Um, just our luck, we actually drove right to one that we thought we were staying at Aries, Anaheim, and we were not there. Um,
Nope.
we had no reservation. The guy thought it was really funny that I picked the wrong hotel to go to, and I had no humor at that point after flying, dealing with budget, and then driving 45 minutes to this hotel. So again, Aries Hotel, make sure you know where you're going. Thankfully, it was only like a mile and a half or 2 miles away, but it was still just really obnoxious at that. I think it was like midnight at that time.
I mean,
Uh,
all you can do is laugh, right?
Now I can laugh. Now I can laugh. But I was just happy to finally lay my ass down on that hotel bed, and fall asleep because I knew the next 2 days were going to be pretty intense and long. But
Mhm.
what did you think of day one?
I mean, kind of like echoing what you said before, like we're just excited to be going
Yeah,
and it other than, the travel part of it, I think that whole trip was just really fun. I
Agreed.
enjoyed the whole time that we were there. Yeah, I wish we could have spent more time like sightseeing or things like that, but we really were there for a reason, and the reason was to see something corporate, and that's what
Yeah.
we did. And, we actually got to spend a lot of time like with some friends, and it was kind of cool because we got to meet a lot of people that we've been chatting with like
Mhm.
online for quite some time, and
Yeah.
see some people that we haven't seen in a long time. So
Mhm.
even like meeting Ariel, seeing Jason and Tyler, of course
Yeah.
Kelly, Amanda was there. So it was really fun having like all those people together again. And all of us, except with the exception, I think, of Ariel, were in Vegas. So
Yeah,
it
I
was
think so.
fun
Yep.
to like see everybody come together again, and there was a lot of new people in line too. So it
Mhm.
was just really fun to meet everybody. And I know a lot of people were worried about being barricade for that show, and the VIPs for that too, which strangely enough, I actually bought our VIP for 12/31 before I even knew we had tickets. I just saw that they were on sale through Bands in Town. There was a link available, and I was like, well, in the off chance that we do get tickets, I want to make sure that I have VIP, and I'm sure I could probably sell it pretty easily if we don't get them.
It was
So
weird. The VIP I thought was weird though because it wasn't really announced.
yeah, it never was really, like, promoted or
No.
anything like that, and it was pretty small, in comparison to, like, some of the VIPs that Andrew does, by
Mhm.
himself.
Yeah.
So a lot of people were worried about those coveted, like, barricade spots, but, for us, we knew we wanted to hang back a little bit different than
Mhm.
everybody else, and just really, like, enjoy our time being there. So,
Yeah.
uh, we went to the legendary Kavanaugh Park, which is basically just a park with nothing but a sign that says
I
Kavanaugh Park.
I warned you.
You did. Jimmy did warn us. So we weren't necessarily disappointed. It was just kind of funny to see. And I think during one of the shows, Andrew had said that the song is actually about a different park, but Kavanaugh Park sounded better.
Mhm.
So technically, if you think about it, we weren't even at the right park.
Yeah.
But
The park's
you
terrible.
whatever.
Park is terrible.
After that, we ended up hitting up some breweries and we got food. Our friend Junika, who lives in California, she was there. We got to hang out. We stopped and said hi to our friend Jason in line, which Zach ended up coming out and chatting with us for a little bit, telling us about his new music. So he's got a lot of exciting stuff coming up. I can't wait to hear what he's got going on. But
The Jason part is hilarious because he didn't know it was us in the car and we pulled up and we were like, "Who's playing tonight?" And defiantly, like a pissed off man, he was like, "Something corporate." And it was like, "Calm down, bro. We know who it is."
yeah, it was kind of fun to poke fun at him a little bit
Yeah.
on that one.
Like, is
But
Jay-Z is Jay-Z there tonight?
after so many years, it's kind of fun to turn that around
Yeah.
and get a laugh out of it. But eventually, we just ended up going and getting ready and went back in line around like 5 o'clock.
Mhm.
These shows were a little bit later than your standard show, which was kind of nice. It gave us a little bit more time during the day. The lines weren't huge.
No,
It,
I was
I mean,
surprised.
by any means. I've seen much longer lines for these shows before, and um, it was kind of nice because we scoped out the venue a little bit online. So we
Mhm.
saw that the venue is actually like a tiered level floor.
Mhm.
So there's the main floor where the stage is. There's an, an an elevated level, and then another
Yeah.
elevated level, and then there's the top where all the bars and stuff were at.
Mhm.
So we kind of knew where we wanted to stand on that first tier, like right in the center, just because we'd be able to see everything, and we wouldn't have literally anybody right in front of us. So
Mhm.
that was the plan, and I think we executed it pretty well.
Yep, I do too.
So I kind of wanted to make sure we had that view because I wanted to do some lives, which I did record, and you can see them on my Instagram if you want to go back and relive some of that show. I tried to take more videos of songs that maybe he hasn't played as often, or that we knew were going to be rare.
Mhm.
But overall, that venue, not having been there before, I thought it was really nice. I liked it.
Yeah. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
actually surprised at how nice the venue was. Um
it was
and like
clean.
yeah.
It They had good bartenders. Like, it was pretty cool. They had this thing where there was a QR code up on the screen, and you can scan it and order a drink, and then they message you when your drinks are ready.
And it
So
was
you're not
quick too.
so you're not standing
Yeah.
there. I'm like, that's the most brilliant thing I've ever heard of.
Technology.
What did you think, like, overall, like, getting there, the venue, all that stuff to me?
It's pretty much same as you did. I actually was glad that we scoped it out prior. I love the tiered level because there was no way I wanted any part of the floor. So I was glad that we got to like be, I guess it was like 3 steps higher than the floor, um, which is super nice. But I thought not just the venue, but like the whole day that we had. But no, I was glad that like you and Kelly got to see the amazing beautiful Kavanaugh Park. It's definitely a sight to see for like 2 minutes, and then you leave, and then you wonder why you even drove over there in the first place. Um, but like
But
you said
he was
before,
close.
yeah, yeah, the slide was fun. Um, but like you said before, I was glad we got to spend time with Janika because we typically see her like at a show and only get to talk for like a half hour and then say bye at the end of the show. So I was glad to spend time with her. At that brewery. But the venue, I didn't think the line was bad. In typical California, people are so chill. So there was no drama, and I absolutely love no drama. So it was like we just got in line, hung out with some people, and got to our spot when we entered the venue. But I thought it was pretty easy overall. We got
Mhm.
the spot that we wanted, and that was it. But what did you think of like the actual show itself?
I really loved the show.
Hmm.
Um, I mean, let's just talk about the set list because I thought it
Yeah,
was a good energy. There was a couple surprises, and this felt more chill than the
yeah,
set for the next day, that's for sure.
yeah.
For this one, you actually had a photo pass, so that was pretty cool.
Very.
Um, so we got some amazing shots from that show, which you can see on our website, but
Mhm.
also on Jimmy's Instagram at JM Pics. So for the set list, they started with "I Want to Save You," and I thought that was such a great start to the set. What did you think?
No, I did too. I was actually surprised because like night
Hmm.
two they did Space. I was almost thinking they were gonna do Space again because that's what they did in
Yeah.
Vegas. And it was such an
Mhm.
awesome opener. But no, I liked the change up.
Yeah, and then it just flowed right into Straw Dog, which of course is one of my favorite songs.
Shocking.
Um, and then it went right into Paints Me Blue, Fall, Me and the Moon, 21 and Invincible. So hitting all of those like classic songs. The Astronaut, If You See Jordan, Only Ashes, Ruthless, I thought was really surprisingly fun live.
Hmm. Yeah.
I thought it had a lot of fun energy to that song. Of course, people love Watch the Sky,
Yep.
As You Sleep. um, they played Drunk Girl, which before they started, Andrew was like, well, this song didn't age very well, did it?
No.
So that was pretty funny. I think that was kind of like a throwback to that TikTok we told him about. This
Right.
girl that was like throwing shade at him for some of the
Yeah.
songs he wrote in high school about being in love with high schoolers, but whatever.
Yep.
Um, then they did Forget December, which is a rare listen.
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever heard that one live. Have you?
Yeah. Back in the old times.
In the Western days.
Yeah, in the Western days.
Then, of course, Hurricane, which we know Andrew plays that one a lot, and that's when he comes into the crowd and dances with everybody.
Hmm.
They did Kavanaugh Park, and then the big surprise of the night was Babies of the 80s.
That
I
was
know a lot of the hardcore fans were going crazy for that one. What did
Yeah,
you think when you heard that one start, Jimmy?
I was shocked. I was shocked. Because that people have been like requesting it for years and years and years, and
Mhm.
it's like he's never gonna play it. He's never gonna play it. And then I actually liked like the screen in the background because it had like Alf and Transformers and like so much old. I'm old, sorry, but I was an '80s kid. So much old like stuff like that. It was just it brought me back so much. And then to hear that song, it was just like I can't believe this is going on right now.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool montage of
Yeah,
like all the stuff that happened. Like it was showing like presidents, sports teams, TV shows, games.
yeah,
Like it was really fun. I think at one point Andrew said that he liked watching it so much that he
right.
like stops and watches it and forgets to play.
Yeah, it was
So
really good.
I think whoever made that, I forget who he said made that. Do you remember?
No,
Whoever
somebody on
made
the
that
on the
did
crew.
like a really, really good job with that. And it,
Yeah.
it also reflected on the piano. So that was pretty cool.
Hmm.
Um, After that song, well, honestly, I think a lot of people were like in shock from that one.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we were getting texts and stuff like, oh my God, he played Babies in the 80s. Like everybody was losing their minds, even
Yeah.
though it
I
was
think
like
I
2 o'clock in
texted
the
Lisa.
morning.
Yeah, I texted Lisa, and I think in big caps I wrote "Holy fuck, babies," and she knew. Obviously, she knew exactly what it meant. But yeah, I was floored by that.
After that, they did Space, Woke Up in a Car. Of course, they had to do Constantine, and then they closed with Pink Rock Princess, where balloons and confetti fell down, which I think they might have learned from us in Vegas that they got to have a little bit more to the show, you know?
Right. Right. No, I thought the set list was a lot of fun. As you can tell, Babies of the '80s was my biggest surprise and probably the best for me, the song of the night. Just because it
Mhm.
was unexpected. Because like I said, people have requested it for so damn long, and he's always said no, I'm not playing it.
I think he
But
said that they played it like less than 5 times.
it's I don't know what the number is, but we just saw it twice, so who knows? But like you said, I had a photo pass for the show, which I was ecstatic about because 2002 Jimmy would not believe 2023 Jimmy having a photo pass for SOCO show. So it meant a lot to me that I got to shoot that show. So that was a lot of fun. But you went over the set list. The set list I thought was great. Like you said, it was a little calmer this night than the night coming up. But which I didn't think was a bad thing because New Year's Eve, obviously, you're going to expect him to be a little bit crazier. Um,
Mhm.
but overall, the night was a blast. We got to hang out with a lot of people that we don't really get to see a lot after the show. And then I was very surprised Josh and Clutch came out pretty quick to the
Mhm.
back to behind the um,
The
venue.
venue.
I was surprised to see them so fast. But they spent a lot of time with people signing stuff and taking pictures and stuff. And then obviously Andrew came out a bit later, but I was very surprised to see Clutch and Josh out for so long. Um, and then I was trying to think after that. Oh, we went to that. I was thinking of when we left the venue. We went to some bar that you found.
Yeah, it was like open late, so we went and we had a drink and just like chatted and stuff. But I did want to bring up one of my favorite things that happened was we met up with somebody that caught one of the astronauts
Oh
in the
yeah.
Vegas shows, and her name's Kristen, and she is so funny and so amazing. Like it was really fun to meet her and her husband at this show.
Yeah.
But she also was like trying to get the astronaut signed by the whole band, and she was able to complete it after the
Yeah.
show. So that was pretty fun to see.
She was
Um,
hilarious.
yeah,
Yeah.
one of those people that is just like a good time.
Yeah, no, she was really fun. But I guess our evening ended, which obviously any drunk evening should end at a Denny's. Um,
Yeah, of
but
course.
yeah, Blink 182 did not show up, so I was kind of upset about that. But
Yeah.
overall, I thought the night was fun. Again, I'm thrilled we came out for this show for both of these shows. But what did you think of the second day?
Um, I mean, for the second day on New Year's Eve, we slept in a little bit, which was nice.
Yeah.
Our plan was originally to try to go to Venice in the morning, but everybody that we were with was kind of worried about getting back in time for VIP. So we just kept it local. We just went to a brewery that was over there, and we stayed pretty close to the venue. And we actually went to the brewery that was selling the Watch the Sky, what was it, seltzers that they were selling at the
Yeah,
show.
Brewery
Um,
X in Anaheim.
yes, that's what it was called.
Yeah.
So they were selling those at the show, and they had like food trucks and stuff. So we just ate there, watched some football, hung out a little
Mhm.
bit, and then went back to our hotel to get glam, if you will, for the night.
Oh, I was glam. I was very
You
glam.
were definitely sparkly. So after getting ready, we headed over to VIP. We only had the VIP for one show, but there was a couple people that had it for both. And for this VIP, we were to get in line at like 5, I think it was, or something like
Mhm.
that. So we got there around 4. There was maybe like 50 people total.
Yeah,
It
it
wasn't
wasn't huge, but it
a
wasn't
lot.
small either. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it was a good sized group. I think it was a little bit bigger than the previous day.
Mhm.
Um, and I thought the VIP was fun.
Yeah.
First, you just go in for the sound check with the band. You're watching them practice a couple songs. They did do, I think, like half of Babies of the '80s and
Yep.
some Constantine. But then we went back towards like the front after they did their sound check, and they had like all these tables lined up where they all stood and kind of made a line, almost like Warp Tour,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
you just go up and you meet everybody behind the table. They gave everybody had a poster. What else came with that? Anything? The
It was just
lanyard?
Yeah, it was just a poster. But you could have like obviously it was just
Yeah,
nice for the whole band to be there and you could get anything you
mhm.
wanted signed. Like Amanda brought her posters from Vegas.
Yeah.
Um,
This is like one of those few chances where you get all of them at once. So
yeah,
some people definitely wanted to, take advantage of that and get some other things signed that they had. And they were gracious enough to sign everything for everyone,
yeah.
which is awesome. So we went back to that main area, and we were kind of like in the middle of the line.
Mhm.
But one of the first things we wanted to do was buy what was it, the foil poster, the
Yeah,
limited edition one.
yeah.
I forget how many or so they had.
It was 20, it was 50 per day.
Yeah, so it was very, very limited. And I'll tell you what, that poster is really cool when you look
Oh,
at it.
it's
Um,
beautiful.
So Jimmy got one, I got one. We're keeping this extra one to hopefully maybe raffle or um, earn some money for Dear Jack over the summer. So
Yep,
look out for that.
yep.
So it's just waiting for its loving new home. But it was pretty fun to like sit there and talk to all the guys. Everybody got a chance to buy merch and just chat with them for a while. It didn't feel rushed.
No,
Um,
not at all. Yeah.
they were all really kind and funny and like making jokes with the fans and with each other. So it just felt like a really good, fun environment to be
Yep,
there. And
yep.
I just loved that whole experience. And I think you could tell that they were having fun with it.
Oh
Um,
yeah. Yeah.
that just made it more enjoyable. What did you think of like that VIP?
No, I thought it was I like that we weren't rushed. Because like you said, it was probably 50 or so people. And it's like they obviously have stuff to go do after VIP and they have a show to do. So, but I didn't feel rushed for 1 second. I was thrilled that we got the foil poster prior to seeing them, so they
Mhm.
could sign them because it's an $80 piece of paper. It's pretty expensive. I wanted them to sign it. So I was thrilled that we got two of the foil posters. And like you said, our goal is to raise a lot of money with it for Dear Jack later on this year. 100 per both shows for total, like 50 per night. It was a pretty limited thing, but I was glad they had it. I just enjoyed seeing them, like you just said, together. They're just truly enjoying this time. I think they're surprised a little bit by it, maybe not. But just to have these shows like in Vegas and then again Anaheim, you can just tell it's genuine and they're just really happy to be back as a band again. So I enjoyed talking to them, taking our pictures, and then having them sign everything. I thought the VIP couldn't have gone any better, and I was glad
Mhm.
that it didn't feel rushed, like some other artists rush VIPs. This was definitely not. People got as much time as they wanted,
Yeah.
with them, but I thought it was great.
Yeah, and I kind of like that. We see Andrew all the time,
Mhm.
and it was kind of nice that he let the other guys like shine a little bit in this too.
Yeah,
So he was kind of like letting everybody have their conversations, and I just really enjoyed that. But
yeah,
after VIP, we ended up going outside again. This is where things get a little tricky, when it comes to fans. And I was hearing some rumblings of how some of the people had established that people that were VIP were going to come back to their spots in line because they didn't want to lose their spots.
right.
But nobody was really in control of the line. So it sounded like people were arguing over some of the spots and
Yeah,
saying, like, well, you weren't here, so it's not your spot anymore, like that type of thing.
yep.
Um, so
I was kind
we,
of surprised. I was kind of surprised it did that on night two, because night
yeah.
one was so easy, and there was
Mhm.
literally no drama. And it only looked like there was a few people on night two that were causing the drama, but it was
Yeah.
like, just give the spot back. It's not that hard.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the people that were VIPs, most of them were actually there like all day. So,
Right, right.
for other people to just kind of step in and be like, "Well, you weren't here for the 30 seconds that I've been here,"
Yeah.
that was kind of rude, but not my place to say anything.
Mhm.
So, we just kind of went back to where we were in the line,
Yeah.
um, and we already knew we were going back to the same spot we were before, so it's not like we were rushing to get a
No,
barricade spot. So we
no,
we were really no threat to anybody.
no, no. I
um,
was like, we just had to order that sweet pizza for some people.
yeah, because we got there so early, we ended up eating like Domino's. I think.
Yeah,
Thanks,
but we
Amanda.
shared it. We shared it and met some new friends, so it was
Yeah.
fun.
So sometimes you do what you got to do.
Yeah.
But you could feel for this show, it was a different energy than the day
Mm,
before.
yeah.
Um, it I think this energy reminded me more of the Vegas shows. Like it was very
Mhm.
pulsating, like very high energy. Surprised at how the crowd. It didn't really feel very crowded because it seemed like maybe there was a lot of tickets left over.
Yeah.
So it was easier to maneuver, but the energy was really high. So
Mhm.
um, like you could get to the bathrooms and get drinks, and it was pretty easy,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
I'm used to having to like fight my way through people and have
Right.
them like be angry and push me back. But
Yeah.
this was like really easy to get through. So
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
I
Because
thought it.
even night one, I had my camera. Like going from the photo pit to
Mhm.
where you guys were was absolute hell. And it's like, I have my camera in my hand. I'm like, I'm not gonna take your spot. Like, just let me
Yeah,
through. It's not that fucking hard. Like, I don't.
yeah, nobody really cares that much.
No.
So
No.
I mean, we're just there to enjoy the show.
Yeah.
But what did you think about that crowd the second night?
I thought like the people that we were in line with at the front, it seemed
Mhm.
like it was a different crowd. Like they weren't there for night one. I know some of them were, but I saw like a lot of new faces. But
Okay.
like you said, the energy was very much Vegas, um, and like ready to have a great time.
Mhm.
I thought once we got in, the crowd was like you said, it was a lot of fun. Besides the very very drunk guy next to me,
Yeah,
um,
that guy was annoying.
yeah, he was. I was really hoping he was gonna fall at some point, but he
He
never
was
did.
kinda,
But
like, falling over on everyone, like,
yeah,
even, like, this girl that was behind you, he, like, was falling and leaning on her too, and we're like,
yeah,
"Okay, this guy's gotta go."
yeah. I remember we even dialed that number that they had on the screen if you need
Mhm.
help, and
Yeah.
I don't think they've come yet. So,
No, they're still checking the
yeah.
text.
But no, as far as like the set list goes, it reminded me more of Vegas.
Yeah.
It was much more energized. And that
Mhm.
makes sense for New Year's Eve. But again, I think I said it earlier, opening with space, I think is just such a fun opener.
It
Um,
really is. It sets
yeah,
the tone.
it does. It does. So moving from that, I'll just go over a few of the songs. Then it was like I Want to Save You, Me and the Moon, Fall, She Paints Me Blue, Drunk Girl Again. It was a lot of, I think everything was pretty much obviously not the same order, but the same songs.
Yeah,
Um,
I think, the way that they rearranged it,
yeah,
I think it flowed a little bit better.
it did.
It
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 did.
had, like, a more high energy, whereas the first night, like, you could feel the highs and lows. This
Mhm.
one felt more like it was, like, high, 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 and then, like, a low, and then high, 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 and so it felt, like, more energized that
Yeah.
way.
Yeah. There was a nice like four song in a row. It was like Watch the Sky, Babies of the 80s, Punk Rock Princess, and then he did Down,
Yeah,
which was a nice change. I guess he took out As You Sleep from the night before, um,
mhm,
and put in Down, which was a nice add-on.
yeah,
Straw Dog, of course, Forget December, and then again, like you said, Kevin Park, Hurricane, If You See Jordan, I Woke Up in a Car. And then he ended with Constantine, which I was kind of surprised at.
mhm.
That doesn't seem like a end of show type song. Um, but I know he discussed it at soundcheck with some of the fans and obviously his band members, and it seemed like it was mixed. Like some people were
Yeah.
like, "Great,
What did he
that's
say? He was like, "So how do we feel with ending with a slow one?" So
yeah,
obviously we was talking about Constantine, and people
right,
were just like,
yeah."
I mean, I didn't hate it.
No, I don't know how I felt about it really. It was like I didn't hate it, but I didn't love it either because it was like
Yeah. I
now
think it
it's
was okay because before Constantine was the ball drop and all that stuff, so it's,
yeah,
like, hard to top that energy.
yeah,
So
yeah.
I guess, like, coming down with Constantine, like, that felt okay.
No, I did love the ball drop and like the balloons and the confetti and like his
Mhm.
parents coming out.
Yeah, that
Um,
was really sweet.
there was an LC L Conrad sighting. Um, but it was just nice to see like all the band members with their families and kids all on the stage. That was a lot of fun to see. And then like
Yeah,
you
I
said,
was
go.
surprised at how, like, heartwarming that moment was.
It
Like,
was.
you see Andrew's mom come out and give him a hug, and, like, her granddaughter's there, and,
Yeah.
it was just, like, a beautiful moment because you see them with their families, and you're like, "Oh, yeah, these guys aren't just rock stars, like, their dads, their brothers, their
Yeah.
sons." Like, this was a really cool moment to see that all come together.
Yeah, and obviously the crowd was there, but it was almost like not that they forgot about us, but it was like really
Mhm.
important for them to like be with their family at that time. So I loved it. I thought it was great. Everyone came out. The stage was packed, um,
Yeah.
with so much family. It was really cool. But like you said, Constantine was the end. Um, I'm mixed. It was a weird ending, but it was an okay ending. I'm just glad that we ended up going to both shows. I know there was a lot of
Mhm.
discussion whether financially should we do it. It was like it's two something corporate shows. You can get off of work. Let's go. So obviously we did, and I think they were definitely worth it. And we got to hang out with a lot of great people that we don't get to hang out with a lot, and that we have never met before. So
Yeah.
I thought that was fun. It's going to be interesting to see how 2024 plays out with the something corporate shows.
Mhm.
Um, to see actually what really comes out of it. But I thought it was a great time.
Another fun moment I thought was, them having those champagne bottles, like, they had
Oh yeah.
something
So-
corporate champagne bottles, and, their manager, Matt, actually gave some out to some of the fans in the crowd too, so, like,
Yeah.
that was really fun, like, that whole experience is not like that's not something that we'll ever get again,
No,
so
not at all.
that's why I was happy that we went because I was like, "Well, how many times am I gonna get this chance?"
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
Obviously, we know something corporate's going to play shows this year.
Mhm.
We've heard rumblings of a number of how many it could be, but
Mhm.
still waiting on some confirmation on that. But it sounds like there's definitely a tour or some sort of set of shows in motion that are definitely going to happen. But
Mhm.
you know, as we find out more information, we'll share it.
Yeah,
But
absolutely.
for us, like, it's crazy to think that, Last year, we saw Andrew like in some capacity, whether it's SOCO or just him himself, 11 times.
Right.
So the idea of not seeing him for a while kind of
Kind of
breaks
weird.
my heart a little bit.
Yeah.
But we have two Florida shows coming up actually this weekend.
Yep.
So we'll recap that and share anything that we find out over the weekend. And it'll be nice to like have a little bit of music before maybe there's more of a break.
Mhm.
Andrew's coming back from a surf trip, so he's
Yeah.
probably not going to be happy that it's cold.
Right. Yeah. That
But
trip looked like a blast.
yeah, I'm excited to see some shows again, and we actually have a lot of other shows that aren't Andrew, surprisingly.
Mhm.
Um, but we do know of a couple private events that he is getting on his schedule. So
Yep.
I'm hoping that there's going to be something that maybe he can't pass up that comes his way. I'm manifesting Andrew opening for Weezer as they
Gosh,
celebrate the Blue album.
it'd be
Maybe
beautiful.
throw them on a couple dates. I know they had a good time touring together before. I would
Mhm.
love that. And maybe there's a couple festivals. Who knows? Like,
Yeah.
we're probably going to hit up Summerfest this year.
Mhm.
Um, and I know he tends to play that a lot, but we'll have to wait and see.
Yep.
Um, and one interesting thing when we were at the SOCO VIP is I caught the videographer. He was kind of like chilling off to the side by himself.
Mhm.
And I was like, you know what? What are you doing with all this video footage? Like,
Yeah.
he's, I just
He
want to
was the
know.
one from, wasn't he the one from Dear Jack also?
Yeah, he's been
Yeah.
everywhere. He was with
Okay.
Andrew all year. So he was at the summer shows, like New York,
Okay.
like all the shows. And he said that a lot of what he's doing is using it for social media cuts.
Mhm.
But there's so much good footage. So I was like,
Mhm.
do you think there's going to be like some sort of documentary or something? And he said that there's not anything current that is on the schedule for that, but it could happen down the road.
Mhm.
So who knows? Maybe once they look back at all the footage and they see like what they have is a gold
Yeah.
mine, they could probably make some sort of special out of it. Who
Yeah.
knows? But, I think that would be pretty cool because if you're thinking about it as a fan, you're literally watching this band come together, something corporate, and you're
Right.
seeing them like rejoin and all these special moments that they're having and traveling. And I think that would be so cool to put together as like a road to the boat type of thing.
Yep. That would be actually be
Like
really cool.
put that footage on YouTube. I'll watch that all day.
And
um,
again,
it's like a way for fans to engage too. Like I
yep.
love seeing all that footage of them like backstage, like joking together. Like I think it's so fun. So
Mhm.
I would love to see like a road to the boat where they're literally doing footage all the way up until they get onto the Holiday from Real cruise.
Yep.
Um, I say like plan some shows around that. Like let's make it an event almost.
Mhm.
I would expect that they're going to do stuff in like those key markets like New York, Chicago,
Yeah.
hopefully some in the fall, it sounds like, but you never know. We might see something in Florida pop up too. So,
Mhm.
I mean, I think that this might be a good chance for everyone that has missed SoCo to find somewhere that they can catch them.
Yeah.
And who knows, we might go to more shows.
Well,
What
we will.
to me, like, what are you expecting with some of the future shows?
I think it's going to be a handful. Um, like you said, the Midwest and the East Coast, I think he's going to hit. Um, Chicago, he always loves Chicago. He might do a DC because of 930 Club. Um, and then Northeast, like New York area. Um, I can't see it being a lot of shows because all these people have real jobs. So I could see a handful. And then I know a lot of people have been like pushing for like a show before the boat, like the night
Mhm.
before or 2 nights before. I don't know. I could see him doing one after the boat, not before the boat.
Yeah, it's like
Um,
a weird it starts on a Wednesday or something like that, so it's
yeah,
kind of a weird time of the week.
yeah. So I could see him doing like in Orlando, show the after the vote. Like that's a typical Andrew move. But I just think there's a lot of excitement, and like you said, if he's even anywhere near you, you need to go see them while they're
Mhm.
doing these shows, because we will guarantee go to see more, and not just on the boat. Because it's just an energy. I remember 2002 something corporate shows, and it's like nothing will match that. But like the Vegas show and the second Anaheim show were like really good
Mhm.
SOCO shows. So um, I'm just waiting to see what he does, because he keeps teasing it. So it's like, there's going to be shows. It's just a matter of when and
Yeah,
where.
and I think that, like, at this point, the next time SoCo decides to reunite, I mean, they're gonna be much older.
Me
So
too.
this might be one of the few chances to see them
Yep.
as they are right now, where you can still get like that high energy and still, feel like you're 16 again. Because who
Mhm.
knows, maybe after this, they're like, yeah, we're not doing that ever again. Or they're gonna be like a maybe once every couple years type of reunion show.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's so worth it. We're gonna go see them again. Like that's not even a question.
Oh yeah.
Um, but I wanted to take a minute and like, because like you see, I know you brought up the stickers earlier, and just thank people real quick, because the Vegas and Anaheim stickers for these SOCO shows did very, very well, and all the money is going to Dear Jack once fundraising season starts again.
Mhm.
So that was like, I sold stickers in line on night 1 and 2 in Anaheim. Um, and it's a nice thing that I like to do with my art, but it's a great way to raise money for Dear Jack. So that was really cool. And like I said, I had a photo pass for night 1, and posted a lot of the photos on my Instagram. If you guys want any of them, I will print them and send them to you. I just asked for a donation to Dear Jack on any of my Andrew prints. So that is that. But again, thank you guys for the support of the stickers. It did way better than I expected it to do.
Yeah, and thank you for the support of the podcast too. A lot of our
Oh yeah.
friends are sharing it. I mean, so many people are telling us that they listen and they think some things are funny. Some of
Mhm.
them love the Jimfinity story. But it's been so much fun to meet people because of this and
Yeah.
really like network and expand our friend group. And everybody's just been so amazing, and we've gotten to know a lot more people because of it. So
Yeah.
right now we're working on season 3. I've reached out to like fans because I want to know more fan stories and just like learn who these people are. So
Mhm.
I think that that's going to be the direction that we go as we keep growing in the podcast and just learning why they feel like this music is so important to them. I did kind of push back the launch date only because we came back from California and Jimmy had a separate souvenir of COVID.
Yeah.
So we've been, sick just like everybody else at the beginning of the year and recovering. So
I
we're just
assume I assume it came from Kavanaugh Park, but I'm not sure.
the Kavanaugh cough.
Yeah. Yeah. Good.
So we are working on things and reaching out to people. But I mean, if you have stories that you want to share too, feel free to message me and we'll start getting stuff on the schedule. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for season 3.
Me too.
I'm not sure of a launch date yet, so we're working on it. But after these shows, maybe seeing Andrew will jumpstart me into
Yeah.
getting my button to gear and getting everything scheduled again.
That's
But
good.
really, thank you for listening. We appreciate everybody that supported us. And I mean, we'll see you guys out in the wild.
Yes. Thank you guys.
Thank you for listening to the Ultimate Mixtape, an Andrew McMahon fan podcast. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe everywhere you listen to your podcasts. To keep up with the latest news, visit our website, www.theultimatemixtape.com.